Coming up tonight on Primetime Local News. Lloydminster's Stockade Roundup wraps up over the weekend, plus our weekly edition of Retrospect.
Primetime Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
It's now time for Retrospect. Here is our Nick Hott.
This week on Retrospect, we travel back to 1989 for a look into Remembrance Day. We see people paying their respects at the Comp High School Auditorium.
The Color Guard from the Royal Canadian Legion led the way as people remembered those who had fallen in past conflicts. These temporary memorials in the Lloydminster Composite High School Auditorium were a grim reminder of the large number of Lloydminster men who died in past battles. As the Color Guard lowered their flags, the crowd joined in the singing of O Canada. Then the names of those Lloyd residents killed in action were read, and to celebrate the ultimate sacrifice they made for the rest of us, the last post was played. Various dignitaries laid wreaths at the foot of the cenotaphs. Michael Hoffner performed the honors on behalf of the province of Saskatchewan. Doug Cherry represented Alberta, and Mayor Pat Gulak placed the wreath for the city. And after other businesses, individuals, and organizations paid their respects, the Color Party departed the gym with the sounds of the bagpipes echoing remembrances of men who gave up their lives at too young an age. David McGinnis, Broadcast Center News.
Next, we jump forward 10 years to 1998 at Marshall School, this time to teach kids the importance of Remembrance Day.
Students at Marshall School packed their gymnasium today to remember.
The poppy is a symbol of remembrance and is worn to honor the war dead and to say
Staff, students, and veterans were present for the ceremony to honor those who fought for our freedom. The entire school contributed to the day in one way or another.
If you look around the gym, you can see artwork, you can see all kinds of things on the wall right now, but all of them, right from kindergarten to grade 9, they've all contributed something, whether it's poems, posters, both, or working on the slideshows with the computers. So yeah, they've gotten involved to a major degree. So.
But after studying about World War II this year, the grade 9 class took a particular interest in the day.
We've been preparing for the Remembrance Day service and stuff like that, with just the getting ready with setting up the chairs and speeches and poems and essays and a poster contest as well.
Even a high-tech slide presentation was used to display the importance of Remembrance Day, a day today's youth has not forgotten.
It means a lot to see the young people, the students, keeping the tradition going. Because it's over, a lot over 50 years, and young people don't have anybody to look up to anymore except a few veterans and the Legion. There's no wars, there's not in our country anyway. So I think it's great that the schools keep it going.
And with ceremonies like this, the hope is the next generation will keep the memory alive for years to come.
I'd imagine in 15 years, there won't be hardly anybody left, I don't think, of the veterans. So I think it's nice to keep it going.
Sage Pullen, NewsHour.
And that's all for this week of Retrospect.
Retrospect is brought to you by Webb's Machinery. Find New Holland products at Webb's Machinery, your dealer in Vermilion, Vegreville, Lamont, Wainwright, St. Paul, and Consort.
A Lloydminster woman who recorded her son's Halloween costume mishap has racked up the views on social media. Sarah Scott was filming her 9-year-old son Hunter as he trick-or-treated in his inflatable costume. Unfortunately, Hunter took a bit of a spill when leaving one of the houses on the route and couldn't get up. Sarah's friend had to step in and help him. The video has almost 3 million views on her TikTok account, Sarah Scott Photography. The caption includes, "Buys a $60 costume, lasts 10 minutes." Ironically, Hunter was wearing a Fall Guys costume. That's my favorite part of that whole story there. It's just the Fall Guys costume and then falling at the same time.
Well, those big inflatable costumes, I've never had one of those, but you know, those bigger costumes, especially when you're little, I mean, he's 9 years old, you can very easily fall over it, and he hits the plant there.
It's not easy walking in
It could have happened
those.
to anybody, so unfortunate for Hunter, but fortunate for his mom. Now she's TikTok famous.
Yes, but we are coming out of the weekend here, and how's this weather been for this Lloyd area?
Certainly yesterday, I certainly thought it was quite a bit warmer, and it was quite warm this morning as well and throughout today. And so I think we're going to be into that time right now where we're having some warm weather during the day, and then it will get cooler overnight, unfortunately. And you can see that here we're a little bit above the usual normals right now, a high of 7 degrees and a low of -3 for today. The usual normal is about 5 degrees and a low of -6. And so very nice to see that there. And we're not getting no precipitation yet, which depending on who you are is a good or bad thing, which means no snow or rain. And so very much a solid start here to November. We're sitting at 7 degrees right now, so pretty much at the high for today. With the wind chill, it gets down to 6 degrees, but not too bad for the Windy City here in Lloydminster. That south 9-kilometer wind hitting us now. North Battleford is very similar at 9 degrees. Their wind chill down to 8 for them, and so nice day out in Saskatchewan. And taking a late look now at Cold Lake, very, very similar to us at 7 degrees as well. Wind chill to 6. That wind is hitting them at 9 kilometers coming from the west-southwest. Taking a look across the region, it's very similar all over the place here today. Mentioned Lloydminster at 5 or 6 degrees right now, Cold Lake at 6 right now as well. And then we see St. Paul, Vegreville, Edmonton, Wainwright, and Provost all at 6 degrees today, 8 degrees in Vermilion today, nice and warm for them, 8 in Marwayne as well, and then 7 up in Bonnyville, 5 in Lac La Biche. On the Saskatchewan side, it's a little cool up north at Isle La Crosse, but then everywhere else we got 6 in Pierceland, Green Lake and Maidstone, 5 in Macklin, 7 in North Battleford and St. Walburg, and in Meadow Lake as well. Taking a look now at North Battleford this evening, unfortunately, they are going to be seeing some increasing clouds with a little bit of snow, late with little to no accumulation, so you won't probably need to grab out your shovels. However, you just be sure to be careful out on the roads tonight and tomorrow out in North Battleford, as you're probably going to feel some iciness, and on the sidewalks as well, 55% chance of that precipitation coming down as well. Cold Lake is going to have a low of -3 today, mostly cloudy, and they will have a 25% chance, but likely will not be seeing anything major there. And here in the border city, we're -3, mostly cloudy, incredibly similar to Cold Lake to finish out for us here on Monday. Looking at the 3-day forecast coming up, it's going to be rather cloudy tomorrow and a high of 2 degrees, and it will be a little bit breezy and a little cooler. Get down to -7 for the low there. On Wednesday, we'll be warming up a tad bit to 3 and a low of -2 and turning cloudy. But then really nice on Thursday, a high of 11 degrees, 0 for our low, breezy in the morning. So nice to see that there, that we're going to get warmer as the days go on. And so unfortunately, we'll be a little bit cooler there on Tuesday and Wednesday, but again, it'll warm up on Thursday, and then it should continue to warm up as we get later on into the week. But that is going to do it for our first look here at the weather forecast. We will have some more. I will have another look at the weather later on in the show, but for now, we will have some more news headlines.
Every year on the last day of the Lloydminster Stockade Roundup, the Lloydminster exhibition crowns a Cattleman of the Year, and this year it went to a local couple who have been a part of the business since 1970. Drayson and Pat Jones were selected as the 2024 Cattleman of the Year, which the family was incredibly honored when they heard they were selected by unanimous decision.
I was quite emotional when I got the phone call, because I knew Dad deserved it, even though he said he wasn't going to do it or want it. So yeah, no, it was overwhelming.
The Jones were major players for a number of years in the cattle industry, particularly in Black Angus. But the Jones also had 4 kids, Vera, Glenn, Tanis, and Heather, who were all in attendance, as well as their children, to celebrate with Drayson and Pat.
Mom and dad, family is definitely the biggest thing for them, and having pretty much everyone here that meant a lot to them, and having their close friends as well. So yeah, no, it was great to have everybody here.
After the Cattleman of the Year was crowned, it was time for the grand finale of the Stockade Roundup, the Supreme Show. Our Thomas Wildman has more on the grand champions of Stockade Roundup.
After 3 days of shows, the best bull and female from each breed show go head-to-head to determine the Supreme Grand Champion of Stockade Roundup 2024. At stake was $1,000 for the top 4 bulls and females, and an additional $1,000 for the winners of the show. First up was the females. It was Black Gold Miss Haley 213K with calf Black Gold Miss Haley 171M at side, exhibited by Black Gold Simmental and Twin Springs Farms from Hillmont, Saskatchewan. And the Nobles were happy to once again win the Supreme at their hometown show.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, we've been coming to the show for a lot of years, and it's kind of the show that we first started going to, and like you say, it's our hometown one that we do our best to support, and we have a lot of fun here, so I guess to get the win, it means a little bit extra.
And next was the Supreme Champion Bull.
Folks, he is your Grand Champion. Angus Bull is the 2024 Supreme Champion.
It was the Black Angus with HLC CSI Elevation 100K from Rafter D4 Cattle Co. from Sherwood Park, Alberta, with additional owners Hollinger Land and Cattle and CSI Angus. And for the Rafter D4 crew, it was the first time they had won a Supreme.
Our first time winning a Supreme at any show. We've participated in others, Canadian Agribition and Farm Fair, but this is the first time we've been able to stand at the backdrop.
Expect to see not only the Supreme champions, but all the champions from the weekend at the remaining Big Falls shows, Farm Fair and Agribition. And with the completion of the Supreme Show, that will do it for the 2024 edition of Stockade Roundup. For Primetime Local News, I'm Thomas Wildman.
Now let's take a look at your agriculture prices for today. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Lloydminster has a number of ways to give back, including joining the organization. Abby St. John spoke with Jacqueline Weed to get more information on the ways to donate.
I'm very happy to be joined here today by Jacqueline Weed from Big Brothers Big Sisters here in Lloydminster. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for inviting us.
Of course, it's always great to speak with you, especially about Big Brothers Big Sisters. And there's a couple things that we are going to touch on. To start, Big Brothers Big Sisters is accepting bottle donations. So to start, what are you looking for, and when and where can people drop off?
So this is something that we do on an ongoing basis. 3 times a week, we go to Starbucks and pick up their milk jugs, cartons, and that kind of stuff. And then combine that with the donations we get from the community of pop bottles, pop cans, empty liquor bottles, milk jugs, whatever. And then we have some volunteers that come in and count and sort those. Some clients from the Bee Fisher join us. We bag them up and then we take them to the bottle depot. So that's kind of a ongoing fundraiser that we do.
Yes, and it's always a great reminder for those, especially if you don't want to go down to the bottle depot. And it's a great way to also support you guys as well. So that's perfect and very convenient too. Pick up and drop off. So that's amazing. Now, another way that you're also raising money is you are selling with the weather. It's starting to turn and there's already frost on vehicles today. And so you will be selling ice melt buckets. Tell me a little bit about that and how people can go about purchasing them.
Yeah, so we sell Bear Tracks Ice Melt. It's a 16 kilogram pail. We sell it for $30, and people can phone us or message our Facebook page and arrange pickup. And usually we just get them to drive around to the back door, and we even load it for them. So it's a very painless process.
Yes, it sounds very easy, especially because those buckets have a bit of weight to them too. I
Yep.
definitely wouldn't be able to lift it on my own, so that's perfect. And again, another great way to raise that extra money for things that people will definitely need within the next couple of months. That ice
Yep.
melt is definitely a priority for the winter here too. And now coming up in a couple of weeks, one of your biggest holiday fundraisers will start November 12th. It's the Light of Lights fundraiser. Tell me a little bit about what that is for those who may not know, and how people can get involved.
So we started this during COVID. We kind of were trying to figure out what's an easy fundraiser we could do, right? When the restrictions were on and everything. So we had some extra sets of Christmas lights. So we thought, well, could we? Well, let's try it. So we put up Christmas lights in our office. They're actually going to be put up next Friday. And then people can make donations specifically for the Light the Lights campaign. And then depending on the size of their donation, it doesn't matter how much, you might get 1 light bulb, you might get 30 light bulbs. Once we have a whole strand of lights filled, then we plug that strand in and it stays on, unless we're not here, obviously. It stays on until the end of the Christmas season. So last year we ended up with 15 sets of Christmas lights plugged in during the day. It was very bright. I'm sure you could see us from like the mall. It was a lot of lights, but it's a great fundraiser and a super easy way. So people can make a donation in someone's memory. They could make a donation as a Christmas gift. A family could do a donation. Kids could do, like, it's easy, right? $5, $10. If you want to give more, give more. Businesses can do it. So it's a really flexible and easy way to make a difference. And all the money of the things we're talking about today goes to our mentoring programs.
Yes, and it's also a very unique one. Like you said, you brought it up in COVID because you're trying to find ways to get around the restrictions while also maintaining them too. So I think it's fantastic, and to continue doing that fundraiser since then is also a great way to raise money. And it's fun because then people can see what their donation looks like once it's all once those strands are lit up. So I'm sure it looks absolutely beautiful too once it's all lit up. Now, for those who may be interested in helping out or being a part of Big Brothers Big Sisters, you guys are looking for board members. For those who may be interested in joining the board, what do they have to do, and what does it mean to be a board member for Big Brothers Big Sisters?
So to be a board member is somebody who really is passionate about what we do about mentoring children and wants to represent our agency in the community. Our board is a governing board, so they make sure that we're doing everything that we need to do within our Big Brothers Big Sisters of Canada guidelines and, financially, and they just kind of oversee the agency. So they meet usually 10 months out of the year for a couple hours a month, and just learn about what's happening in the agency, make any decisions that need to be made. And then, of course, every year at our annual general meeting, they report back to the community members.
And if they are interested in becoming a board member, where do they have to go, or who do they have to contact to find that information?
Yeah, they can just contact Big Brothers Big Sisters, like our office, or they can email myself or Brenda, and we can get them the information that they need to get them started.
Wonderful. Well, these fundraisers and board members are all fantastic ways to support Big Brothers Big Sisters, and there will be more coming up. So it's always great speaking with you, and thank you for joining me today. And I can't wait to hear more about, especially the Light of Lights. We'll talk about that later on once that gets started. So thanks again for joining me.
No problem.
It's now time to take a look at your adorable animals and our pet picks of the day.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
A tribute to the band Heart is planned for this weekend at the Vic Juba Community Theater. Stacey Comer spoke with the lead singer to find out more about the performance and her solo career.
There are many upcoming shows at the Vic Juba Community Theater, including this weekend. Former Maidstone resident Delia Wakefield will be performing, and we have a lot to talk about today. Delia, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Stacey.
Well, let's talk about the show first at the Vic Juba Community Theater coming up this weekend, November the 10th, which is Sunday. Tell me about when people come out to your show, Delia. What can they expect?
Well, if you love Heart, you'll love the songs that we'll be performing. We do all of Heart's biggest hits like Barracuda, These Dreams, Alone. My personal favorite is All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You, but they don't like it apparently. And yeah, just all the crowd favorites. Crazy on You. I've been singing with Karen Claypool from the Dirt Road Angels, another band that we're in for since 2013, but we've been actually singing longer than that, since about 2011. And I have just some amazing musicians backing me up. They are just stellar. And we try to recreate the songs note for note.
And why is it that you chose to do a Heart tribute? Was it somebody that they influenced you growing up? Did you really enjoy their music, or how did that all come together?
Oh, they definitely influenced me. I've always loved the sound of Ann Wilson's voice, and she's just she sings from her soul. And I've always loved that quality. And she has a little bit of bluesiness and a little bit of rock. And, I just love the songs from the 70s really spoke to me. But then, they transitioned into the 80s and it got more mainstream pop. I still love that stuff too. And a lot of people do. So it's just, I don't know. I've always loved Heart. And so I just want to bring it to Lloydminster. And yeah.
Well, and you have a single of your own that you're working on that's going to be coming out here in the next little bit called The Queen of Overthinking. So a lot of us tend to overthink, so it's a subject that's close to many people. Tell me about writing this song and how you were inspired to write it.
Well, actually, the song has been released today. It's my birthday, and I am the queen of overthinking. I do a lot of overthinking, a lot of weighing pros and cons, and sometimes overthinking can cause analysis paralysis and you to basically not be able to make a decision. But I wrote the lyrics from the perspective of trying to decide a very important decision, whether to divorce or not. And it took 5 years to decide, but it was the right decision. And then I've always wanted to make an album about my experiences, and I joined forces with Kevin Fry here. He's the co-writer of Queen of Overthinking. He created the music and I created the lyrics, and yeah, I hope you like it.
Well, and this is part of a bigger project, which is an album, and you're working on that. No release date yet, but tell me about the album itself. Do you have everything almost ready to go, or are you still working on a lot of the aspects of it?
Well, all of the songs have been recorded. However, we keep writing songs. We're a machine writing songs. The thing is that all of the songs have been recorded. Like I said, we just have to put the final touches, mix and master everything. And we want to take our time and make sure that it's really the product that we want to put forth to the public. And so far, so good. I've got a very amazing team behind me. I've been performing with Alan Timofeychuk, the lead guitarist, for over 20 years. And it's my birthday. I'm only 25. And Dennis Gobert is actually on the brigade, is in my brigade band, and he's the drummer. Jeff Godley is the bass player of my band, Delia and the Villains, which Alan is also a part of. And we performed here or in Lloydminster for the Lobster Fest back in May. And Kevin is also he's also on acoustic guitar. And so yeah, I'm just very excited because all the songs are kind of in the it's more rockier than I've ever performed in music. It's just these songs speak to my heart. They are from my experiences and are presented in a pretty rock and roll kind of way.
Delia, it has been a pleasure speaking with you today. And if people are looking to find more information about you or your music, where's the best place to find that?
Oh, you can Google me. I do have a YouTube page, Spotify, but I mostly use Facebook. And so, yeah, just drop me a line and let me know how you like. Oh, I'm also on Spotify and Apple Music.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And we're looking forward to seeing you. So once again, that is November the 10th, Vic Juba Community Theater. You can hear the Songs of Heart and just get a chance to meet you after the show as well and say hi and learn more about you. So thank you so much again. Enjoy your birthday down in Mexico, Delia. And we'll chat with you again soon.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, our Thomas Wildman will have another look at our evening weather forecast.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to take a quick look at the future radar here. And as you can see, we are seeing a huge system coming through the bottom half of Alberta and Saskatchewan here. It's going to eventually kind of come in through Regina here. But as we see, it starts out in the mountains, and then a huge system is going to kind of come through here. It thankfully looks as it's not going to be coming all the way up north here to Lloydminster, but we are going to see our neighbors in Red Deer and Saskatoon definitely be feeling it over the next 24 hours. Taking a look at tomorrow's forecast here in the border city, -3 to start out the morning. It will warm up to 1 degree at noon. Then we'll cool down to -1 at 6 p.m. We'll be getting mostly cloudy. It will be cloudy throughout the earlier part of the day, and then we'll clear up at midnight to -4. Taking a look now at North Battleford, they're going to have a high of 3 for tomorrow. It's going to be colder with some sunshine and a few clouds, and then breezy in the afternoon, only a 25% chance of precipitation for them. And in Cold Lake, very similar, a high of 3 degrees, mostly cloudy, and will be about a 25% chance of precipitation again. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast here in Lloydminster, we mentioned earlier that it's going to warm up quite a bit on Thursday. We'll cool back down a bit to 9 degrees on Friday. Then Saturday, it's going to get up to 8 degrees, and then it will be a little bit cloudy then. And then on Sunday, there's going to be a chance of morning flurries, but it will be partly sunny, a high of 5 degrees. And then next Monday, another chance of an afternoon snow, and it will cool back down to a high of 2 degrees, a low of -7, similar to what we're going to be experiencing for tomorrow.
It's not terrible temperatures to be looking forward towards, especially for early November. It's quite nice. That is all the time we have today for Primetime Local News. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night.